Good morning, Rabbi Sai. leilul nishmasimi mirasi rusbas Mordechai. Sponsored 1 year. leilul nishmas. I think that's how it's written. Michael Armouth, Levy Armouth. Shom should have an aliyah. Sponsored by Joe Cala in loving memory of my father Elihu Shmooze ben Yosef Wolf Cala. The Shoma should have an aliyah.
I printed it big for you.
I printed this. What is this? Is this by Mr. Herzog?
No.
Rabbi Say, you're not going to believe this. When I need to say this. Thank you, whoever got this. Beautiful, beautiful. It's sweet red, it says here. So the other day, I showed a bottle of Bartanura with an X on it. And Yosef gets a call from the owner of Baron Herzog. He says, that's my brand. I watched the shear. And I don't know about that X on my Asti. Maisa Shahaya. So to clarify, I actually pushed Asti for many years when I was a caterer. I believe that it was the best wine for a wedding. It's the most beautiful bottle, and it tastes great, especially women love it a lot. All I was saying is that for Leila Seder, it's not lechatchila unless you believe that that is the better wine, that it tastes better and it's more meshubach than the red wine. So to clarify that again, the Mishnah Berurah says, for the Leila Seder you should be makbid on red unless there's a white wine that's more meshubach. Okay, so we did that. No, but I love Asti. And I even said then, when I was saying it then, I said it's the #1 seller in the world. This, I mean, it has bubbles, and this. I'm not going into the halacha about this Bartanura, if it's the best or not the best. But anyways, for Rebelli to help him with his grape juice Asti problem for the Seder Yishkoyach, I appreciate it.
You have to clarify.
Leaning. Okay, so Nachman wants me to clarify leaning. I was going to do something for leaning. I wanted to build a leaner, but it didn't work out. Leaning. The Mishnah Berurah says, Benogea to leaning. He uses a lashon and he says like this. Roishoy muta, his head is leaning. V'karem tachas roishoy. He must have pillows underneath his head. Reb Nissen Karelis learns that that's what the Chavetz Chaim means, and he means it seriously. That's the only way to be yaitza is with pillows under your head. There are others, though, that say that, yeah, he said it, but maybe they argue with him, or maybe this. So, okay, so once again, to be lichatchila, you want to be yaitza lichatchila, you should put something under your head. If you don't put something under your head, we're all yaitza all the years, I guess, according to other people. Nachman Seltzer says, yes, he's pasking. Okay.
You have to know it. You can't just
The Mishnah Berurah, I'm quoting the Mishnah Berurah. Tachas roishoy's head must be supported. We usually go by the Mishnah Berurah. If you have other sources, great. So now,
How would you do that physically?
so I had to build something. You turn your chair sideways. Somebody wrote in. You turn your chair sideways, and it has a higher back, and you lean on that. That's the way to do it.
Rabbi says it's not an idea thing today. You don't do it today.
No, that's
He's very.
the Raviyah. We don't go by the Raviyah, but we could be soymech on him if you forgot to do a seva. You soymech not to do a brocha. That's why I said then in the shir. But lichatchila, I'm saying lichatchila today. You want to be yaitz l'kol deis, you should probably support the head. Let me just read this funny email. You're going to like this.
I came home yesterday and told my wife I'm bringing the couch. We're finding couch at the Seder this year.
That's amazing. That's it.
Ravelli said so, I have to.
People shouldn't take psak alone. That's the point.
Yeah. But I have to reiterate this. I'm not a paisik. I say over what I see. Sometimes I read it wrong. So do not paskin based on me. Look into it more. Thank you. Good afternoon, Rebelli. I don't know if you remember Melech Gross from Avenue S in Brooklyn. He told me that Reb Chatzkel Roth, Allah Shalom, said that if Coca-Cola was kosher, you'd be able to use it for Avdol because it's Chamar Medina. A lot of people are mechulik on that. Okay. By the way, when I was discussing your fear with my brothers, one of my brothers said, yeah. He remembers when you got an aliyah during the week on Avenue F in the second Rosh Hashanah. I remember this story. And it's funny, but it's sad. You walked up with your big yeshiva shepayis, looked into the Sefer Torah, and said, this is a Hasidic Sefer Torah, and walked away. Maisa Shahaya. What happened was, I remember, I looked in the Sefer Torah, I saw the Hasidim, they use something called Tzadik Hafucha. the tzaddik, the head of the tzaddik, instead of pointing to the left, points to the right. So I decided that you can't make a bracha on such a sefer Torah. I declined it nicely and I walked away. And he remembers this. This was 35 years ago, 34 years ago. So you got to be careful what you do. When you do things like that, people remember. With the big yeshiva shepayas. Also, my older brothers used to go to the East 4th Street garage Vasika Minyan. We had a Vasika Minyan in our garage, and his brother used to go. What's this guy's name? Aaron Goldberg. Yishkoyach Aaron Goldberg for bringing such a beautiful thing up. Aaron Massey. I recently came across your channel on YouTube and I've enjoyed your output very much. I went to South Bend Yeshiva from 2009 to 11, and my Rebbe, Reb Avi Katch, was your brother-in-law. Was. Ooh, there's something I didn't know about, but okay, we'll go weiter. No, he's still my brother-in-law till this day. One day he gathered all of us who attended Shachars that morning and told us we were taking a secret trip to Chicago. It turns out the secret trip was your first Siyam HaShas. It was a pleasure to have participated in the celebration. I look forward to celebrating the next one with you. Keep it up. Aaron Massey. Shkoyach. All right. By the way, here's another thing. I had an argument with, is he here? No, Yosef is not here. Also, another thing that l'chatchila, if you have wine at home, if you have wine, you shouldn't do kiddush on liquor, even if it's chamar medina. Even if you say that scotch is chamar medina, l'chatchila, you should do it on wine if you have wine, because it's chamar medina, but it's not chamar. Chamar is wine. But here, somebody sent me something to be milamed schos on people that make kiddush on a small shot glass that's less than a revius, because the Mishabura says again, if you're going to do it on whiskey, make sure it's a revius and you drink a roiv, a malay lugmav. So he brings a taz that since the beverage is so strong that the normal intake is in small amounts, even less than a shir revius, then it qualifies for making a bracha achroina. This is because the lesser amount could satiate a person as much as someone drinking another beverage in the larger required shir. I forgot who sent this to me, but whoever it is, thank you. Thus, while priority on Shabbos morning should be given to kiddush on wine, this other mode of kiddush described above is halachically acceptable. I don't know where, but okay, great. Rabbi Isai, this is my last day here for quite a while. I am going to America, Beis Hashem, if the flights are still going, Monday early morning, and I'm going away for Shabbos. So Meil, I'm not going to be here Motzei Shabbos and Sunday morning, and Friday morning. I'm not going to be here either. So this is it. I think the Beis Medrash will be open for most part, besides Pesach itself. I think Gary said the Beis Medrash won't be open. We'll talk to him about it. So, okay, you speak to him. I'm not in charge of that. Motzei Shabbos, I'm not going to be here, and Sunday morning, I'm not going to be here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol niyeh b'dvaroi. This, somebody sent me, is a beautiful device. I hope it works. Basically, it's a scale. And here's a little hook, and you put your matzah in a bag, or you put your wine in the bag, and it weighs it. That's what he said. This is called, I don't know what it's called. Something. It had a funny name. I think I cut it off. Mishkan Mitzvah. Here, Mishkan Mitzvah. That's what it's called. It looks interesting. You can weigh your matzah, because every matzah is different thickness, different shiur. Interesting. Okay. Is that, Yosef, did you do this digital? Did he digital? You digitalize it already? What? This thing, because it looked very strong. Okay, good. It doesn't have to be digital. Fine. Just as a quick maisa shekemat haya, somebody said this over. We're talking about zugas, pairs. So a guy in yeshiva was learning the sugi of zugas, and he said, "Zugas, shtusim." I don't believe in it. And he fell on the floor. The chair just went out. All four things went out. Anyway, you're in charge of that. That's your line. I said a mice about the Vilna Gaon and b'chutzpah. I'm going to be moicha now, b'ravim. You said mice k'mataya, but whatever. You can say it on those stories. Lo yaset roch of trey. No, we're not holding there. Tan Rabbanan. 5 lines down. Tan Rabbanan shoysek yiflayim. If a person drinks 2 cups of beverages, damay beroisha, he's causing his own death. We said the whole problem is sakana, so he has to be careful. Omar Rabbi Yehuda, emosai bizman shlei ra pnei hashuk. If a person doesn't take a little spatzir outside, then it's a problem. Bizman shlei ra pnei hashuk. Ava ra pnei hashuk, if you break it up, you go outside, then it's not a problem. Harshus biyadai. Now, what are we talking here? We're going to have to see that there's two topics, really. There's a topic of kishuf, that somebody could put a spell on you, and there's the topic of shadim, the mazikim, the demons. Now, just to describe mazikim, shadim, what are they? Who are they? So that's a Gemara in Chagiga. The Gemara says, first of all, shadim were created right when, by Ben Hashmoshes, and the last day of creation, they got stuck, so to speak. They were in between humans and not, so they got stuck over there. What do? How do they operate? They have some things that are human-like and some things that are malach-like. So they eat and drink, para v'rabba. They have children, and they die, like human beings. But they have wings. They can fly from one side of the world to the other. They're very strong. Different stories. Now, how large are they? We're going to see a Gemara that 60 of them fit into one person. So maybe, and they have a very interesting thing. They can reveal themselves. They're invisible, but all of a sudden they want to scare you. Shalom Aleichem, here I am. So that's a shade. The Rambam says he doesn't believe in this whole thing. And some say that after the Rambam said it, in fact, it stopped because reality is based on Torah. And once the Rambam paskined it, so it's not a reality anymore and they're gone. Okay. Harshus biyadai, Omer Abashi, Chazina leilu of Chananya bar Bivi, da kol kaso, on every single cup of wine that he drank, have a nafik, he would go outside, the chazi apishuka, he'd look outside, he'd walk around. So he would break up the zugas. He didn't have two cups, because every individual cup that he had, he went outside. If a person decides he's going to go on a trip, and he drank 2 cups of wine, he's in big trouble. But if he stays at home, it's not dangerous. And to go to sleep, if you go to sleep, it's like going on a trip, and it's dangerous. Some actually say some psukim before they go to sleep, in case they had 2 cups of wine or something before. And going to the bathroom is also dangerous. By the way, the shadim like to hang out in the bathrooms. That's where they have different places they like to hang out. They hang out in shade. Maybe that's why they call it shade. Whatever. Yeah. They're very shady characters. So, but they hang out in. You'll see in the shade, in the bathrooms. They have their places. What? Huh? Be careful. What? They don't hang out. If you stay at home, you're not going to be damaged by them. But Rava would count the beams in his house. So he'd start over here, go, okay, I'm holding a cup number 1, drink. Go weiter, cup number 2. Cup number 5, I have a picture of what it looks like. After cup number 5, 6, this is what the beams look like. All right, at least at that one you left. Okay. Okay. In order to avoid this whole zugos, so Abai drank 1, and his mother, here, she would go like this. She would hold these 2 things like this, and she'd get ready. So in other words, there's a total of 3. Make sure that he doesn't drink it 1 more, because then it gets stuck at 2. It's 3. Who's Abai's mother? Once again, the Rishbam over here brings it again. Abai's father was nifter while Abai's mother was pregnant. Abai's mother was nifter the minute he was born. So he never had parents. So this is the famous Amr Li'aim. My mother told me it means his stepmother, and she used to tell him all these different things. But she was a pretty smart woman, you see, and she wanted to avoid. I guess she also, now I'm thinking like with the kishuf and shadim, she's big into that. She knew all that stuff. Says the Gemara, he already got to the 2, which is a problem of a zugos. Then his waiter would hold up 1 to remind him he has to do 1 more. If he drank chat kasa, if he only drank 1 cup, so his shamish would hold up 2. It was a whole game. As he drank 1, he's holding 2. He drank the second one, now he holds 1. Bekitzer, you gotta avoid the zugos. Sakol panim. The problem is that this is inside their house. We just said inside a house, there's no problem. They're not drinking outside in the street, they're drinking in the house. There's a problem. Says the Gemara, Adam Chashuv Shani. Very interesting. The Rashbam uses an interesting lashon that the shade is moiser nefesh. He wants to attack the chashuv people. He'll attack Rabbanim b'mesiras nefesh, even if it costs him his life, because Talmid Chacham can turn around and do a kameh on him or something, like stop him. So moiser nefesh. Amar Ula. Asara kaises and ben mishum zugos. Once you get to number 10, says the Gemara, we're not concerned anymore. So 2, 4, 6, 8, but not 10. 10, 12, 14, that's it, done. Ula l'tamei, Ula goes according to his own shita. V'amri lo b'masisatana, got in the brayso, asara kaises tinku chacham beis havel. There's 10 cups in the Avel's house, as the pasuk says, Tnu sheicher la'ived, give beer to the guy that's lost, to the person that doesn't have any taste in life anymore. V'yayin l'mori nefesh. You give wine to the people that are really sad. Who? To the Avelim. How much? 10. You break it down. 3 here, 3 here, 1 for each Brocha. 10 cups of wine. Here's a raya that it ends at 10. Why would Rabbanan institute a takana that should be 10 cups when it's a real sakana? 8. There is a problem with zugos. Rav Chizda v'Rabbi bar Rav Huna. Listen, you see in the Gemara soon, 8 is nothing. People drink a lot more than 8. 8 cups of wine. 8. It's a lot of wine. I mean, we have problem. The entire say they drink 4 cups. By the end, I'm literally choking. And they're doing 8, and there's people 16, 20. At 16, he started losing track where he's holding. Says the Gemara, Yaakov, could you deal with a guy like that in your 12-step thing?
Let's get it right out.
This is, you'd kick him out. Okay, that's what I thought. Rav Chizda, says the Gemara, Rav Chizda v'Rabbi bar Rav Huna the Amrit Arvayu Shalom l'toiva mitztaref l'ra loy mitztaref. This is a pasuk that I hope everybody knows. The last pasuk in Yivarechacha. Yisa Hashem panav eilecha v'yasim lecha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7th word is shalom, peace. So since this is a pasuk, these are psukim you say against shadim. This brings peace to the world. So it can't be that the 7th is going to be a cause for something not good, like shadim. So Amela, number 7 in the cup of wine, the 7th cup of wine, doesn't count. It's not going to ruin it for you. So, Memela, your number 7 doesn't count, so your number 8 is 7. When you drink 8 cups, cup number 7 it's not towards the count of the 8. Shalom l'toiva mitztaref l'ra mitztaref. So, if you drink 6 cups, you have zugos. So if you drink number 7, it's going to save you because it counts. You count number 7. But if you drink 8, so then you don't count 7. So in other words, you use Mr. Shalom, the 7th one, for your benefit. Any way it goes, for your benefit. If it's detrimental, you don't use it. If it's beneficial, you use it. Zok the Gemara. Detrimental means it's not good. So it's not good. No, I'm just sometimes he complains to me that I'm using words in English that are too sophisticated, even for a Panovitcher. Aval Shita, 6, L'chayra. Yes, Mishum Zugay, 6. Listen, we started off at 10. We knocked out 10. We said 10 is no good. 8, we just said 8 is not a problem. What about 6? Aval Shita, yes, Mishum Zugay. Rabba v'Rav Yosef dam tarvayu. Now, if you go down to the Rashbam, Dibur Maskal, Rabba v'Rav Yosef. So that is 2, 4, 13 lines from the bottom. Says the Rashbam, Rabba v'Rav Yosef, like in the middle of the big lines over there. Kemoi shahayu hadoyer zuachazu. What he means to say is kam, I think. Basically, as the generations kept on going, hayu mekila bezugois v'ahochim u'poichasim. So the Rashbam says this idea, it's not even the Ben Yoyada, which I originally saw it at. The Rashbam says that as the generations went on, and here's Rabba v'Rav Yosef, we know they lived much later on, past the Tanaim in the Amoraim. So they already said that the Amritar value, V'chuneka l'toiva mitztaref, l'ra loy mitztaref. So here we go, here's the pasuk, Yor Hashem panav eilecha, vichuneka. So it's number 5. So 5 could make, if you drink 4 cups of wine, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you drink number 5, so you don't have zugas, you have an odd number. But if you're going to drink 6, it's not considered 6 because vichuneka doesn't count. Okay? So as the generations went on, they kept on lowering the bar. Abai v'Rava damar tarvayu, a later generation of Abai v'Rava v'yishmerecha l'toivim mitzaref l'ro mitzaref. I don't know. I just printed it because we already printed. Yivarech Hashem yishmerecha. It's the third word. So if you drink 2 cups and you drink a third, now you have an odd number. But if you drink a fourth, you don't have an even number because you take out the v'yishmerecha, you take out the third cup, and it doesn't count. It's as if you drink 3 cups. Up until 3, but 2 is a problem. 2 is zugas. Now, there's a Taisus in Yuma Daf Ein Zayin. Taisus says that's it. In our days, it became very weak. We're not makbid on it. That's what Taisus says. The ruach is not shoilet so much. Not a problem. Or Chashulchan says we don't have to be makbid. The Be'yada said, that's I said the other day, that as the Kedusha lessons, unfortunately, so does the Sitra Achra, the Ruchis Rois, all the other stuff. It's a even scale. So if there's a lot of Kedusha, there's a lot of Tumah. Zelumazeh. All right, so today, not so makbid. I'm sure there are those, I think not, I'm sure I saw others that say there is, so, but we're not so makbid. And we'll see the Gemara later that it also depends on the person. If you don't believe in it, and if you say it's not going to affect me, then it has less of an effect. And maybe we have less emunah today, so it doesn't affect people. I don't know. All right. Zok the Gemara. Now, the problem is, the Rashbam points out here, who says, Rava says, Abai and Rava both say 4 is not a problem because vichuneka. Rava is the one, the whole sugya, why do we have the whole sugya zugais? Gemara asks the question, how do we have arba kaisis on Leila Seder? It's 4. Says Rava, Birkas Hamazon doesn't count. So 4 is a problem, just Birkas Hamazon doesn't count. So over here he's saying 4 is not a problem. So that's why the Rashbam comes up with this idea that we're talking about kishuf. Over there, that sugya is kishuf. We're concerned that somebody's going to point and do a spell on somebody that drank Dalit Kaisis. Over here we're talking about Shadim. Shadim doesn't apply anymore. Shadim, the madreg of Shadim went down. Okay. Zog the Gemara. V'az the Rava l'tamei, Rava is l'shitasa, the Rava apkinu l'rabbanon barba Kaisis. He gave his Talmidim, he kept on giving his Talmidim to drink. He wanted them to get into the learning, and he gave them to drink. Avgav the Itzak Rava bar Levai. One day he gave them to drink, and Rava bar Levai had damage from drinking zugais. He said, no. You know, today a guy falls off the roof. They say, oh, COVID. So what COVID? He fell upside down, hit his head in the concrete. COVID. Says Rava, what zugas? What does that have to do with zugas? It's nothing to do with zugas. I'll tell you why he died. He had hezek. Domar who? Rabbi Sai, I'm very excited about this.
About the emails you're going to get tomorrow?
He slugged me up in sheer. L'chaim. Let's look at the Rashbam inside. This you need a Rashbam. 8 lines from the bottom. Do'isvam bepirka. Shehiksholi b'shas hadrasha ubayshani berabim. He was mevayish me in public. Rabbi Sai, I hope you guys remember this line. And in case you don't, I have something for you. I'm not messing around here. This is bushas v'charpas, what you guys do to me. So it's a new thing, sign. This should stay here forever. Will be shiny red. My face, you made my face red. Stay here. That's right. Shehik shali b'shas hadrasha will be shiny b'rabim. No, look what you're planting things in his mind. He's very gullible. No. He got it. Oh, what? Where do you want to put it? Put it over here. Yeah.
What was the problem? What was his problem? Was his time? Wasn't that they weren't embarrassed? What was the problem? Tell us.
What? No. He slugged him up. He slugs him up in the middle of it. No. So what do you say?
It wasn't the right place to call out.
Because no shear is the right place. That's what he's saying. No problem. Rabbi Chomer, what are you saying?
It was not the right place to raise the challenges.
Okay. What's the right and what's the wrong? What's the right and what's the wrong? Oh, okay.
Right? And they slugged him up. That would have been something else. It wasn't that.
You're embarrassing me now. I said the wrong shot. Okay. Zog the Gemara, Amar Rav Yosef. Amar li Yosef Sheda. Yosef, the famous shed, brought down other places. He had a little sprach with Rav Yosef. Did I make a brocha on this? Yeah, I did. Ashmedai, Malka de Sheda, the famous Ashmedai. He's the king of all the Shedim. Memunu akulu zugei. He's in charge of zugas. He creates the damage. And umalka loy ikri mazik. Think about it. You ever heard of a king that goes with a sword and chops somebody's head off? It's beneath him. So he tells this guy, chop that guy's head off. So you don't have to worry so much about him because he's in charge of it and he's not going to go and then get his hands dirty. A king could do whatever he wants, could break down your fence, go right through your property if he wants to. So since he's the king, he's not only is he in charge of zugas, but he's also a king. You got to be really careful. Another thing he told him, betray katlinan. If you drink 2 cups of wine or you eat 2 apples, whatever, the 2 thing, it's very dangerous. They have permission to kill. Why? Because that's the mikar. That's the yisoid. The yisoid is 2. 4 is a multiple of 2, but it starts with 2. Barba like katlina. It's not as stark as 2. Barba maskinan. We do hezek. We damage. Betray. Even if you drink 2 cups by mistake, you didn't realize. Barba b'meizidim b'shogig loy. We only have permission to damage somebody if it was by mistake. V'yishte ikri unafak. What if it happened? He did it. He forgot. Maitakante. What should he do? Ishtele. It seems like it was by. What does it say by you? Ishtele? Does it on purpose? No. Next line. V'ishtele v'ikri unafak. Ishtele means he was by mistake. Maitakante. Linkoid zakfa the yodei the yamine. He should grab his thumb, his right thumb, with his left thumb with his right hand, the other small and his kitzer. Take your right hand, grab your left thumb. Take your left hand and grab your right thumb. You go like this. Uzak the small the yodei the yamine. V'nei ma'achi atun va'ano hatlasa. We together we're 3. V'ishmiale domar atun va'ano harba. If he hears a voice, says the Rashbam, even a woman's voice. I guess they have women too. We said Puruvu. They have it's couples over there. Neimele atun va'ano hachamsha. So you have to continue. You have to say, okay, so we are all together 5. Vishmiya leidom atun va'ano shito. And if he hears the voice saying it's 6, neimele atun va'ano shiva. Have over that mo v'chad. It happened. The guy kept on going. The shed was stubborn. Kept on saying 90 until it got to 100. 101. Upaka sheda. The shade exploded. Rabbi say. Joke time for a second. A guy went to a Rav. We're learning about witches and stuff. A guy went to a Rav, and he says to the Rav, what should I name my child? The Rav says, you look in the parsha. He says, but it's the parsha Mishpatim. He says, so call your kid Machshefa. He says, oh, that's a great name. The problem is that's my sugar's name. This is number 1. Number 2. Number 2, another Maisa. I heard a guy, this is Imamish recently, a guy says, I just saw your mother-in-law so gesund. He says, my mother-in-law so gesund? Your mother-in-law so gesund. Fine. Why am I saying this? Because I am leaving now. I'm leaving for a bit. And it's been almost 2 years since we've been with the Shviger. It's 2 years. With the Seder, with the Shviger, 2 years. And I know the Olam suffers a lot. So I decided I'm not leaving without a parting gift. I'm giving each one a gift for me. I worked hard on this. And I call it, and I'd like everybody, especially you, it's called Tfilas HaShviger. And you could say it with me. Give this out to everybody. Everybody gets one. I highly recommend you keep this in your pocket for the rest of your life. Give this out. And I'm going to read it. Read it out loud with me. Hot excrement in torn basket to your mouths. Oh, Shviger. May your hair be ripped out to expose your baldness, Shviger. May your breadcrumbs fly away. May your spices be scattered. May the wind blow away the fresh saffron that you're holding in your hands. Oh, Shviger. As long as I had my grace and your grace, I did not come between you. But now that I have come between you, it is evident that my grace and your grace towards me have cooled. So if anybody wants a second copy, please not. Only one copy per person. This is for the next year. Now we're going to say this Tfilas HaShviger in the Gemara in Lashon Kodesh. Here it goes. Omar Meimer. Omar li Rishosine de Noshim Kishvaniyos. Some people call this the Shviger, but others, this is the head of all machshefos. By the way, seriously, I can't. I'm talking about your shvigers. Your shvigers. I'll have to say again, my shviger, because she watches the shir. My shviger watches the shir, so I have to say this ma'isa. It's not about my shviger. I'll say, even though I might have said the story like 2 weeks ago, I don't even remember. I'll say it again because it's an unbelievable ma'isa about my shviger. And it's a ma'isa shah. You're not coming out to tell you because that's my wife. We were sitting in the kitchen. You know the story. And all of a sudden we heard a click. It's the sound of the side door combination lock. And the door swings open, and in comes a woman. And she gives us a very dirty look. And we looked at her, and she kept on walking. And she made a beeline to the pool. 1 minute later, my drenched kids, you know, the kids crying, 2 kids come out of the pool. Mom, it's full of water. What happened? Said, this woman came in and kicked us right out of the pool. So I go to my shviger. I said, Mom, who's this lady? She said, I don't know. This lady asked me if she could use the pool a year ago to teach somebody how to swim. And I said, yeah, and I gave her the code. And she comes once or twice a week, and she gives lessons. I said, but what's her name? She said, I don't know. So she has a random person, it's a random person that knows the code, doesn't knock, comes into the door, gives people dirty looks, kicks the family out of the pool, and she doesn't say a word. That's the shviger. So anyways, no, my shviger, I don't, Baruch Hashem, your shvigers. Your shviger. Okay, anyway, Zok the Gemara. Amelie, but she watches the shir.
I'm saying this every single Friday night before
Kiddush. If you bump into a witch, name Achi. Chori chamime, Rabbi say together. Hot excrements. Bidikula bazia, in a torn basket. That's not a basket. One that drips out the excrements. Lepumaychu into your mouth. Noshi de Choroshayu, these women of Kishuv. Karach kerchayu, you should become bald. Parach perchayu, your crumbs should fly away. Returning to Daf. Kufyud Amud Beis, the special Tfilas HaShviger, sponsored by Eli Dykman from Borough Park. Brocha vehatzlacha for all the MDY team in their everyday lives. Sorry for stopping in the middle of such a beautiful tefillah. For all the hard avodas hakodesh they do, Eli Dykman. Sponsor for Refuah Shleima, for all Chal Yisrael, especially from our MDY family. Please consider joining the MDY Tehillim group, tehillim.8mindaf.com. Ibdur tevlunaychi, you should, what's the most important thing to you? Shviger, the spices, they should all go flying bye-bye. Parcha zika lemerika, the fresh saffron should blow away. Chada de nektisu, noshim kishfaniyos. Bekitzer gevaldik. Adit chanani, as long as I had my grace, it says here, v'chanchani, v'chananachni, v'chananchi, lo yasisi l'goy. Bekitzer, either remember this about peh, or you can schlep my piece of paper around.
You didn't put the enough logo on it.
Good. If Rabbi Herzog called up, I'm scared that this machshefa might call. I don't want her to know where it's from. Hashda asisi legoy karchani karchanani v'chananachni v'chananchi 7 times. V'chananchi. All right, Bekitzer. Now we called off. Our relationship is cooled off. Great. B'marav aloy kapti azuga. In Eretz Yisrael, they didn't care so much about zugas. Didn't bother them. We're in Eretz Yisrael, shouldn't bother us, especially 2,000 years later. They used to write on the barrel, who took out what. Don't make even amount of lines. It should always be odd amounts. Haba uvda upoka chavisa. He didn't care, somebody didn't care, they put the even amount of lines and the barrel exploded. Cala. The milsa, here's the cloud. Call the kapit kapti badei. If you care, it cares about you. I don't know, I didn't ask anybody, but I have a feeling that, let's say you go to a gadol, and the whole time you're thinking to yourself, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, this guy, so I don't think the bracha will work. Like, you have to believe in it. You want to believe that the bracha will work, then it works. If you believe in zugas and the deep meaning in it, and that's tam hiji-biji, then it works with the loy koped, the kapte ba'adayu. The Sefer Hasidim says this applies to all, like a lot of different things, like nichushim and stuff like that. If you believe in it, it works. If not, nah. That could explain. Somebody here, his wife really believes that this lady could go like this, and she could heal different things. Maybe if you really believe, then yeah, you go in. That's a maisa? I don't believe it.
It's 2-story.
His house fell.
Whole house. He didn't believe it. He didn't believe that the grasshopper. He didn't believe that the grasshopper landed on Chaim's stage.
Oh, that story with the
He
grasshopper.
didn't believe it. He didn't believe it. He said it didn't happen.
By the way, I just saw a video of that. They asked Reb Chaim, is it true that a grasshopper landed? He says yes. When I was learning the sugya, yeah, it's on video. Reb Chaim said, I saw. Zok the Gemara. I started believing a lot more in Reb Chaim Kanievsky ever since this, our friend that's about to happen. We're not going to talk about it. Call the kabi badei, you'll hear some. Udalei kabi badei. Umiu lemechash boy, but you should also be concerned. Kiyazer avdimi omar. Shtei beitzim, 2 eggs. Ushtei goizim, the 2 walnuts or nuts. Like, that's what Menachem Ateh was referring to yesterday, I guess, that my father, but I think it might be different. Because he was talking about when you pop it open and there's 2 inside, that's a zug. This might be just 2. Shtei kishuim, 2 cucumbers. V'dava acher, and the other thing, another food. Halacha l'Moshe Messinai. It's very strange. I had the problem. It almost doesn't seem right. Halacha Moshe Messinai and zugas. Zugas is a sakana. Well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu about zugas. So in fact, I forgot who it is. The Tiferes something. What Tiferes Yisrael maybe? Huh? Yeah. Tiferes Yisrael says it's not literal. It doesn't mean halacha Moshe Messinai. That like halacha Moshe Messinai. A revius dam for this, or different halacha Meshinas that we have. This is different. Okay, it's like a Messiah. The problem is we have no clue what the other item is. Because so now you have to be careful with apples, oranges, everything else. He said 10, 8, 6, 4 is not a problem. That's only when it comes to the shadim. When it comes to kishov, sorcery, we have to be concerned even a larger number. There's a person who divorced his wife. She went and she married the shopkeeper, the guy, the bar owner. Mamish an idiot, this guy. He goes and he drinks beer in his ex's new husband's bar every single day. So she wanted to destroy him. You heard about that guy that had he was in charge of sending people messages that they have that they were in the same vicinity as somebody that had COVID, send them to bidud. So he sent his ex-wife a bunch of times, and they caught him. 12 times. It was like, how did this woman get 12 times? Oh, the guy in charge is his ex. Poof, they put him in jail. Yeah. Have a god like Shafim, like a Mahanya Bey, but it never worked. But she was a stubborn woman. She tried every single day, didn't work. Tried again, didn't work. Why didn't it work? He never drank 25 cups of beer. It was only 26 he was mak, but only 27. One day he drank too much, and he lost count. Up till 16, the guy was clear like a flute. Then he started getting a little confused. 16 cups. This is Yaakov Rosedale's funniest Gemara. Wins all prizes. So he left, unfortunately, left the bar after an even number. He's walking on the way. He bumps into an Arab. He hears the Arab saying to himself, oh, dead man walking. He got so scared, the guy that drank, he goes and hugs a tree. Hug a tree. That's all. Tree hugger. He's a tree hugger. Not a good idea. Tzavach. The tree shriveled up. Tzavach dikla upakahu. Whatever he took away from the tree went into him. I guess it's like a cartoon. He grabs just everybody visualize. and he blew up. He hugged this, and his body just exploded like a balloon, and that was the end of him from the Kishuv. Omer Rav Avira. But either way, it's very bad. It's like a bomb in your face. Okay, the palm tree exploded.
Say it was his liver that exploded.
Only 16. 16 cups, he was clear. Omer Rav Avira, ka'aros v'kikaros. If you eat a bowl, well, it's a bowl of food, and it's two, it's not a problem. V'kikaros, two, let's say 2 rolls, not a problem. Eba mishum zugos. Klal the milsa. Kol shegmari b'dei adam mishum zugos. If it's made by humans, it's not a problem. What about wine? Wine, who makes this? Mr. Herzig makes this. So why is this a problem? We said zugas. The whole sugya is about kaisis. Because I say the grape to begin with is edible. You're making something else from the grape, but when you have like wheat, it's not edible. So the whole creation is by a human being. If it's something that's made by heaven and it's edible, chayshina. You go from one store to another one, there's no zugais. Or in the store itself. Now what about this guy that died? This guy that hugged the tree was in a store. It was in a bar. Why is this zugais? Because that was kishuf. There's no zuga. There's no shadim zugais in stores. Says the Gemara, nimlach ein b'mishum zugais. A guy decided to drink 1 cup, and then he happened to get thirsty and drink another one. There's no zugas. A guest, he doesn't know whether or not he's going to get a second cup. No zugas. Isha, she doesn't intend to drink more than 1 cup. So even if she drinks the second one, it's not zugas. Visha chashuva, if she's an important woman, chashinan. You know, I forgot to say a very, very important thing. Just remember, when it comes to heseva, the Ramah says, the Gemara says, Isha chashuva. The Ramah says, all women in our days are nashim chashuvis. Go home and tell this to your wife. All women are nashim chashuvis. Bring a couch for your wife as well. She would appreciate it. Including the shviger. And then you can say the bracha under your breath. Omer Rav Chanina, Chinina, Bereder Rav Yeshua. Espargos. This is cabbage wine. Here's espargos. There's a cabbage, and it's, you see the old, this is from those days. Mitzdarif l'toiva, ve'ei mitzdarif l'ra, once again. So if it's number 4, you drink 3 cups of wine, 1 cup of asparagus, it's as if you drank 3. If you drink 4 cups of wine and 1 cup of asparagus, it's as if you drank 5. Asparagus. A guy goes to the bar and drinks 18 cups of wine, and he's fashikrid. He has no idea. Shalom Aleichem, Josh, welcome. He has no idea if he drank 18, 19, doesn't know what to do. So drink 1 more. Drink 1 more. It never hurts to drink 1 more cup. No, don't drink at all. Explains the Rashbam. If you drink 1 more, you're showing, you're falling into their trap. You're showing that you care about them. You're concerned. You drink more, that means you care about them. Oh, once you care about them, they have power over you. So you don't drink. All right, is it the chamra? Chamra is wine. So you drink 2 chashav cups and 1 of beer. They don't go together. They don't mix, beer and wine. But you can't add the lesser value, the lesser one, to make it 3. You drink 2, you have a problem. You have to drink another cup of wine. Trade the shichra, but if you drink 2 beers, and then you add 1 wine, mitzdarif, because it's the better, it's more, what's it called in English? It's more chashav. No, how do you say chashav? V'simanech za klal. Kol mechuber loy, min hachaber mimenu tamei, min hakam mimenu tar. So we go to, that's tuma. Let's say it takes 6 tfachim to make a reed tamei. You need 6 tfachim of this simple material, but only 4 tfachim of goat hair. So let's say you have 3 tfachim of goat hair, and you add 1 tefach of reed. You don't have 4 tfachim, because you need 6 tfachim of reed. Reed is the lesser value. But if it's the opposite, you have 5 tfachim of reed, and you add 1 tefach of goat, goat is more chashav, so it becomes 6, it becomes tamei. So too over here, if you're going to add the better product, the wine, to the beer, now you broke up, now it's not 2 cups, it's 3. But if you're going to add the shvacha one, the beer, to the wine, it doesn't work. Should we stop here? We have to stop here, unfortunately. But it's 8:02. Okay, I have no problem. We'll keep on going. Whoever wants to leave can leave now. If before the meal, you know, when they're taking the menu from you, whatever, and you're drinking the 2 cups of wine, and then you have 1 cup of wine during the meal, then it's as if you drank 3. They're mitzvah. Chami kamei taka, v'utrei ataka. But once again, we're going with the important. The 2 cups that are important during the meal are not mitzvah, lo mitzvah. We care about the person. At the end of the day, he drank 3 cups of wine. What do I care? Is a meal here, not a meal here? So, the Kuli Alma says the Gemara, Shreya taka, v'chad lebasar taka, lo mitzvah. So, the Gemara is saying that what you eat, what you drink before the Suda is part of the meal. But what you drink after the Suda has nothing to do with the meal. And therefore, if you drink 2 during the meal, now you have a major problem because you have Zugas. And then you drink 1 after the meal, it's not going to help you. There's a story, we have to say it. Nachman said to keep on going, so we got to say the story. Rabbi Nachmani was being chased by the king's messenger. And the king's messenger was sitting in a bar somewhere and he drank 2. And his head flipped around. And they didn't know what to do, like an owl. His head went crooked. So they brought Rabbi Nachmani, who he's chasing. And Rabbi Nachmani gave him an eitzah to save his life. And said, bring the table back and give him another cup of wine, and therefore won't be zugas on his head, and it's kachava. And then that's the continuation. So he saved his life, so the guy had Rahmanas and whatever. That was the end of the story. But you see that when you bring the table back, it works. I'll see you tomorrow, Beis Hashem, but I'm going to be on Zoom.
Nachman, weren't you 2 tablets?
What's going on, Rabbi Sadi?
Eli.
Have a great day. What's up? What?
Hakodesh B'Sameach.
Shkoya. I got on the thing. Okay, Shkoya. Shkoya. Hakodesh B'Sameach, brother. I don't want to embarrass you. Rabbi Yosef Kessler. Rabbi Yosef Kessler, Shalom Aleichem.
Safe trip.
Thank you. Hakodesh B'Sameach. Shkoya. No. There's something else going on. I have to go over here. I have to look it up for you. What are you saying, Shimon?
No, I said have a safe trip.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Keep it
bringing him. Don't let him go. Mark, what's the number? Do you want to send me a number? I need a number. We know what's going on.
Eli, I just want to know one thing. How in the world is your mother-in-law?
Oh, it's 8:06 already. What? I'm going to try to give you when I'm in America. David, what's going on? What's going on, Tzaddik? I'm not going to recognize you when I see you in Chicago. The Chasim is up and it's not up to the Monday morning, 5 a.m. No, Lufthansa. My Shvi is the most harmless person in the world. She never said a bad word to me, Shvi. She's great. Hold on, what's going on there? Who's Avi Levison? Has a baby over there. Shalom Aleichem. A grandson, that's what it is. Okay.